Okay? Next, actually, those things are called sequence. Key terms to remember. Sequence. What is a sequence? A sequence is a set of objects which is listed in a specific order, one after another. So, yung ginawa nating let's discover na activity, it will lead you to sequence. Let's have an example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are called sequence. Why are they called sequence? Because they have a specific order, one after another. Say for example, if I will be looking for the next term after 7, ano yung susunod sa 7? Alam mo agad na, 8 yun. Kasi 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are counting numbers. Alam mo, na pagkatapos ng 7 ay 8. Next, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 is also an example of sequence. Why? Kasi alam mo kung ano susunod sa 10. Anong susunod sa 10? 12. Correct, 12 yun. Paano mo nalaman na 12 ang susunod? Because the given sequence are multiples of 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Next, third example. Say, itong example na to. We have x, 2x squared, 3x cubed, 4x raised to 4, 5x raised to 5. What will be the next term? This is also an example of sequence. Ano yung susunod doon? Ulat natin. Okay, ang given natin ay x, muna x, tapos naging, dali lang, tapos naging 2x squared, tapos naging 3x cubed, tapos naging 4x raised to 4, 4x raised to 5, tapos ano daw yung susunod? Observe natin. Lahat sila may x, tama? May x, may x. So, ibig sabihin, ito rin ay may x. Next, lahat sila may exponent. Ito may exponent na 1. Tama ba? O, 1. Tapos, ano mapapansin mo sa exponent nila? Nagbibilang ka lang din. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, ito meron siyang 6 na exponent. Now, observe their numerical value as well. Ito may 1. May invisible 1 siya. Because x is represented as 1 value. Okay, 1. Ano susunod sa 1? 2, 3, 4. Ay, stand corrected. This is 5. Sorry. This is 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, this is 6. Yan. This is 6. So, that means the next pattern is 6x raised to 6. Well, obviously, if you will look at the exponent, starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and yung susunod 6. Ano susunod sa 6x raised to 6? Tama, 7x raised to 7. Let's continue. Now, let's talk about the term. Sabi niya, a term is a member or element in a sequence. A member or element in a sequence. Each term in a sequence has a position. First term, second term, third term, and so on. Each term can be written as a sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 3, a sub 4, to a sub n. In which a sub 1 is the first term, a sub 2 is the second term, and a sub 3 is the third term, a sub 4 is the fourth term, and so on. Let's have an example. Say we have the sequence 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. 2 is the first term, which can be denoted as a sub 1. 4 is the second term, denoted as a sub 2. 6 is the third term, denoted as a sub 3. 8 is the fourth term, denoted as a sub 4. And 10 is the fifth term, denoted as a sub 5. So that is what we call term. Again, term is a member or element in a sequence. Now, sequence has two classifications. The first one is a finite sequence, And the next one is an infinite sequence. When I say finite, these are sequence that contains a limited number of terms. When you say infinite, these are sequence that contains a countless number of terms. Again, yung finite may limited number of terms lang. Ang infinite meron siyang countless number of terms. Let's have an example. Say days of the week. Ano ba yung mga days of the week natin? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Meron pa bang ibang days ng week bukod sa nabanggit? Wala na. So, ibig sabihin, that sequence is called a finite set. Kasi hanggang Sunday lang siya. Hindi mo na siya madadagdagan. Infinite numbers. Infinite sequence, should I say. Say, counting numbers. Ang counting numbers ay mag-i-start sa 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Walang susunod sa 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on. Yun ang infinite. Walang katapusan. Let's have an example again. For finite, say first 10 positive perfect square. Pag sinabi mong perfect square, you just simply multiply a positive number to itself. It will become a perfect square. Say 1 times 1, that is 1. 1 is a perfect square. 2 times 2, that is 4. 4 is a perfect positive square. So, ano yung mga yun? First 10 daw. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100. Paano nakuha yung 49? 49 is 7 times 7. Paano nakuha yung 16? 16 is 4 times 4. So, pag sinabi mo first 10 positive perfect squares lang, magiging finite sequence siya. No? Paano siya magiging infinite? Ang infinite natin magiging what are the positive perfect squares or positive perfect squares. Pero pag sinabi yung first 10, first 5, ayan, finite ang tawag doon. In another example of infinite are the multiples of 5. What are the multiples of 5? 5, 10, 15, 20. Bukod sa 20, meron pa ba? Meron pa. 25, 30, 35, and so on. Now, observe the given in infinite. Paano sinulat itong finite at paano nasulat ang infinite? Pansinan natin yung given example natin. Anong meron kay infinite, dito sa example niya, na wala kay finite? Nakita nyo na ba kung ano? Spot the difference daw. If you're done spotting, tama. Itong infinite meron siyang tama? Tatlong tuldok. Pansin nyo din ba yun? Tingnan mo yung finite, wala siya ni isang tuldok. Dire-diretso lang, tas may hangganan. Mag-i-start yung days of week ng Monday, matatapos ng Sunday. Ang first 10 positive perfect square, mag-i-start sa 1, matatapos sa 100. Next, ang infinite, pagkatapos ng 5, may susunod pa sa 5. Kasi counting numbers yun eh. Ang multiples of 5, pagkatapos ng 20, may susunod pa sa 20. Multiples of 5 eh. These 3 dots here are called ellipses. Madaling i-distinguish kung ano ang finite at infinite sequence sa pamamagitan ng ellipses. What are ellipses? Ellipses are in the form of 3 dots. Dots in which it signifies infinity. Walang hangganan. Tuloy-tuloy. May kasunod pa. Parang itong lesson natin, may kasunod pa. Okay? So again, sequence has 2 classifications. We have finite and infinite. When you say finite, it has limited number of terms. When you say infinite, it has countless number of terms. Finite sa Tagalog may hangganan, may limitasyon. Infinite sa Tagalog ay walang hanggan. Okay. Now let's try to find several terms of a sequence given the general term. Pahinga ko lang ng konti ng aking boses. Okay, let's continue. Sometimes a pattern in the sequence can be obtained and the sequence can be written using a general term. Now, using a general term, we will find several terms of a given sequence. Makinig. Let's have an example. So, example number 1. Find the first four terms of the sequence a sub n is equal to 2n minus 1. 2n minus 1 is our general term. No, ang tawag natin doon ay general term. Doon sa general term, hahanapin daw natin yung unang apat na terms gamit yung general term. So, terms can be denoted as a sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 3. Tama? So, n ang tawag sa kanila. Unang apat na terms sa given sequence. Now, next. When n is equal to 1, ibig sabihin nito na yung first term natin. And a sub n is equal to 2n minus 1 is our general term. To solve it, you just simply substitute the value of n by 1. Kasi n is equal to 1. Yung lahat ng n na makikita mo, papalitan mo ng 1. So, a sub 1 is equal to 2 times 1 minus 1. Okay. Next, 2 times 1, that is 2 minus 1. No, 2 minus 1, that is 1. So, your first term is 1. Next. Next. You're looking for the second term. So, n is equal to 2. Given the general term, a sub n is equal to 2n minus 1. Again, substitute all the values of n. Lahat ng n, papalitan mo naman ng 2. Kasi hinahanap mo na yung second term. So, a sub n magiging a sub 2. Tapos yung 2n magiging 2 times 2. Okay. 2 times 2, that is 4. So, meron kang 4 minus 1. And 4 minus 1, that is 3. So, ibig sabihin, your next term is 3. So, yung unang term mo ay 1, yung pangalawa ay 3. Next. Paano yung pangatlong term mo? When n is equal to 3. Again, given the general term, a sub n is equal to 2n minus 1. Substitute all the values of n by 3. Lahat ng n na makikita mo, papalitan mo ng 3. So, a sub n magiging a sub 3. 2n magiging 2 times 3. Tama? Ito napalitan ng kulay. Okay, 2 times 3 lang yun. 2 times 3, that is 6. 6 minus 1, that is 5. Now, since this is a sequence, ibig sabihin may pattern yan. Your first term is 1, your second term is 3, your third term is 5. Sana. Wait. Let's create another window. Okay. Your first term is 1. Your second term is 3. Your third term is 5. Now, observe the given. Hanap tayo ng pattern. Anong meron dyan? So, kung yung piso mo, may piso ka, tapos ang kalalabasan ay 3 piso, tapos may 5 piso ka, ano ang kalalabasan niyan? So, isip ka. Anong gagawin mo sa 1 para meron kang 3 pesos? Okay, tama. Magpa-plus ka ng 2. No. 1 plus 2, 3. O, ano yung susunod dito? Kung ipa-plus mo yung 2. 7. So, kahit hindi mo gamitin yung formula, alam mo kung ano susunod. Yun ang kagandaan ng sequence. Try natin. Yung pang-apat ay 7. Ano pa? Ano pang isang explanation yan? Are you familiar with odd numbers? These are actually odd numbers. These are lists of odd numbers. Ano eh? 1, 3, 5, 7. Anong susunod sa 7? 9. Anong susunod sa 9? 11. Ano eh? So, that is what we call a sequence using general pattern. Kaso, ang problem lang natin dito ay hanapin daw natin yung unang apat na term. So, meron na tayong 1, 3, 5. Let's continue. If the general term is a sub n is equal to 2n minus 1, and you are looking for the first 4 terms, the first term is 1, the second term is 3, The third term is 5. What will be the fourth term? Okay, 7. Therefore, the first four terms of the sequence are 1, 3, 5, and 7. Yan. Next example. Example number 2. Find the fifth to the eighth terms of the sequence b sub n is equal to negative 1 raised to n over n plus 1. Ayan, medyo may naging komplikado na ng konti. Pero again, ulitin ko, this is a sequence. So, ang pinaka-goal mo ay hanapin yung pattern. Kasi pag may pattern ka na, alam mo na kahit hindi mo isolve. Okay? So, sabi niya, hanapin daw natin yung mula sa pang-5 hanggang pang-8. Mula sa pang-5 hanggang pang-8. Hindi niya sinabing first 5 to 8 terms. Sabi niya yung pang-5 hanggang sa pang-8. So, if that's the case, your n will be 5, 6, 7, and 8. Kasi ang hinahanap mo ay 5th term, 6th term, 7th term, and 8th term of the given sequence. Now, when n is equal to 5, yun na yung pang-5 mong term. Hahanapin mo na siya. Given the general term b sub n is equal to negative 1 raised to n over n plus 1. So, step 1, napakadali. You have to substitute the value of n by 5, in which b sub n will become b sub 5, and raised to n will become raised to 5, and n plus 1 will become 5 plus 1. So, mag-start tayo dun sa negative 1 raised to 5. Anong ibig sabihin ng negative 1 raised to 5? Negative 1 raised to 5. Okay. Say, sabi niya, ano ang negative 1 raised to 5? Negative 1 raised to 5. Do not forget the parenthesis kasi ganun siya nakasulat. Ibig sabihin nun, if this is an exponent, that means you have to multiply negative 1 to itself 5 times. Yun ang ibig sabihin nun. So, meron ka negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tama? Now next, let's solve. Say 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, that is 1. Negative times negative, positive. Negative times negative, positive. Positive times positive, positive. Positive times negative, negative. So the answer is negative 1. So, negative 1 raised to 5, the answer is negative 1. Mamayo ko nang magganito. May shortcut ba? Yes, meron tayong shortcut. Isipin lang natin yung mga tinatawag nating odd numbers at saka even numbers. Ang odd number mag-start sa 1. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and so on. Okay. Next, ang even number, yung mga in-between nito. 0 is an even number as well. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Though 0, hindi na kasi masyadong ginagamit pag nagsasolve. Okay. Pag ang negative 1, if negative 1 is raised to an odd number, the resulting symbol is negative. Ano yan? Negative 1 ang sagot. When negative 1 is raised to an even number, automatically, except 0. O, tanggalin na nga natin yung 0 dito. Baka ma-confuse kayo. Tanggalin natin yung 0. O, ito na lang muna ito. Okay. When a negative 1 is raised to an even number, automatically, the resulting symbol is positive. So, try natin. Negative 1 raised to 6. O, asa ng 6? 6 is even. So, ibig sabihin ng sagot dito ay positive 1. The negative 1 raised to 101. 101, the last digit is 1. So, 1 is an odd number. Therefore, the answer is negative 1. Say, negative 1 raised to 28. Look at 28. 8 is an even number. 8. Yung dulo niya 8. Tama? So, this is positive 1. Hindi ka na nag-solve. Tama? Okay. So, in this case, negative 1 raised to 5. 5 is an odd number. Therefore, negative 1 raised to 5 is negative 1. 5 plus 1, that is 6. So, the answer is negative 1/6. Tama? So, ibig sabihin, the fifth term of the given sequence using the general term is negative 1/6. Ito yung panglimang term. Next, when n is equal to 6. Excuse. When n is equal to 6, b sub n will become b sub 6. You just simply substitute the values of n with 6 kasi you are looking for the sixth term na. B sub 6. Ay, hindi ko napalitan. Palitan natin. Siya na. Ayan, lumabas ang mukha ni Hawk. Palitan ko saglit. Ano eh? Ilang ba? Palitan natin. This should be 6. That should be 6. This should be, pasensya na, hindi ko siya na double check. Gabi ko na itong ginawa eh. Okay, excuses, excuses. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. Okay. Again, balikan natin siya. Example number 2. Okay. When n is equal to 6, you just simply substitute the value of n by 6. So it will become b sub 6 is equal to negative 1 raised to 6 over 6 plus 1. Again, raised to positive 6. 6 is an even number. Therefore, your resulting sign will be positive. 6 plus 1, that is 7. So you have 1 over 7. Next, you're looking for the 7th term. Pang-pitong term after na 1 over 7. Ano kaya yon? B sub n is equal to negative 1 raised to n over n plus 1. Your value of n is 7. So substitute all the values of n by 7. And negative 1 raised to 7. 7 is an odd number. Therefore, your resulting sign is negative. So the answer is negative 1 over 8. Now observe the pattern. Oh, here is your pattern. The fifth term, your a sub 5, the fifth term is negative 1 over 6. Your sixth term is positive 1 over 7. Your seventh term is negative 1 over 8. What do you think is the eighth term? Let's first observe the given pattern. The first one is a positive. The second one is the first one is negative. The first one is negative. The second one is positive. The third one is negative. Ano yung susunod? So, malamang yung susunod ay positive din. No. Next, all of this has a numerator of 1. And then, pansinin natin yung pattern dito. Pagkatapos ng 6, ano? 7. Pagkatapos ng 7, 8. So, ano pagkatapos ng 8? That is 9. Ano eh? So, kung hahanapin natin yung pang 9 na term, 9th term, and based on our observation, this is negative, that is positive, this is negative, that is positive, this is negative. And then the numerator is always 1. And then the denominator just increases by 1. So this is 10. So yun ang sequence natin, yun ang pattern na nahanap natin. Okay. So given the general term b sub n is equal to negative 1 raised to n over n plus 1, and we are looking for the 5th to 8th term, and the 5th term is negative 1/6. The 6th term is 1 over 7. The 7th term is negative 1 over 8. And the 8th term is 1 over 9. Well, then, therefore, the 5th to 8th terms of the sequence are negative 1/6, negative 1 over 7, negative 1, negative 1 over 6, positive 1 over 7, negative 1 over 8, and positive 1 over 9. So, ganun lang siya. Nasundan nyo ba? Ulitin ko, pag di nyo nasundan, Kahit i-back nyo lang yung video, tas panoorin nyo ulit. And with that, you have to answer activity 3, your turn. Saan yon? Nasa lang page 10. So, pakisagot ito. Anong numbers lang? Exercises 1 to 8 lang. Do not forget to show your complete solution in a one whole sheet of paper. Nakuha? Okay. Let's proceed.